everything says I'm alive.
Are you sure?
Wow, I live. No, can't do that. Well, I could. I'm not monetized. Little tribute James Brown there. I will
Well,
give it a few minutes.
I'm sure.
I got one on there. That's probably you.
Probably me. I'm seeing two.
Well, I ain't saying but one.
Mhm.
There I go. I see two now.
You had to refresh basically.
I guess.
I guess too.
Well, folks, we've had an interesting week so far. We got snow. Lasted about a day,
Yeah.
about an inch, inch and a half maybe. It didn't stay long, and I like that it didn't stay long. Now, just to get the next several days over with the cold, I'm talking for us down here, it is severe cold. It might not be to some of y'all up north and northwest, but for us southern folk down here, it's terrible. It's extreme. We ain't used to that sort of thing.
Same.
Not that cold.
Yeah, I'm feeling for all the people in Nashville. They still without power.
Yeah, because power companies there don't want to let help come in to help.
But they had also found out that the woman that's over the power company there,
Yeah.
County, she cut $7 million from their budget for tree trimming. So they had that's why all the trees are down because they didn't have them trimmed.
I guarantee you half of that went in her pocket.
So they're still without
At minimal.
almost 80,000 homes still without power, and they've got an Arctic front coming in single digits within the next few days. So yeah,
Probably one of those anti-ice people.
I don't know about anti. Well, they're getting all the ice they can handle, but
Well, if you're going to cut that large amount of money from a preemptive part of the job,
yeah,
where'd that money go?
makes you wonder.
And usually, as we've seen the pattern develop, when people are doing that, they skimming that money.
Yeah,
We've learned that because of Minnesota. Tim Walls, Ilhan Omar.
is that Sankey I'm singing in there?
Yeah.
Hey, Sankey.
And Catfish Dog.
Hey, Tim.
Hadn't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing all right.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time reading tonight. My floater's bothering me.
So, yeah, down south here, we ain't used to this kinds of temps. Snow. We get snow occasionally every several years, about every 5 to 10 years. And it ain't much. I still don't like it. Because as soon as you get out on the roads with it, it turns to ice. Because it's wet snow. It's not a dry snow like it is up north. So it'll turn to ice. And then you got a problem. Oh, making it day to day, Catfish Dog. Best I can do. But I'm doing it. And we went to the store the other day and didn't know we were going to make it back. Engine was starting to overheat. Thermostat's gone bad. And my boys up there where I like to take my car to told me that thermostats are bad for going out on that particular vehicle. It just got replaced about 2 years ago, so I can't complain too bad. I think a lot of this cold is what really got to it and messed it up. 'Cause it's just a little thing that sits on the side of the engine on the driver's side, and it's got a little rubber gasket that fits in there. It's built into the thermostat housing. You screw it in there and everything. And with as cold as it's gotten, and we don't drive the car very often, because now that we don't do our daily thing that we was doing for my aunt, it's had a chance to sit there and get really cold and contract. So we first noticed something was wrong a few weeks ago. We went and get something to eat, and we went out to the store the other day. Well, there's quite a bit of fluid sitting on top of the transmission in there because of the way it sits and everything. So, got to try to call my boys tomorrow and set up an appointment to go up there. And, yeah, they've merged with another company, and now they have to do some things different. And I get it. I can understand it because they do business like it's going out of style. So they're very busy. So hopefully, since it's just a thermostat, and for them it'd be extremely easy to do. Of course, it's still going to cost us $350. They said that's mostly for the part. I got to looking up that part. I found something that looked similar to what I've seen. But to be honest, I don't know enough about it to be confident in choosing one. The last one we got was from O'Reilly's, and my buddy Adrian, my other little sister's husband. He put it in. He went and got it and put it in. I didn't realize they cost as much as they do. So they did me a solid. And catfish, it didn't say. That was the funny thing about it. My needle will go up. It'll sit one line below halfway. That's its average thing. But the needle didn't go up. I got a thing on my heads-up display on the dash that let me know the engine was hot. But the needle never did go up. I presume it was because all that fluid was all over the wire that connects to it. So I don't know how hot it got, but it got hot. When I opened up the little reservoir, it did that little. I didn't open it up all the way, thankfully. I'd have got burnt. But I opened it up enough to relieve pressure, and it sent a lot of the fluid back up into the reservoir and went back down. Yes and no. It would mostly blow cold, and then it would try to heat up, but it just couldn't quite get there.
It never got warm.
Right. It got a hint of warm, but then it would go back cold and go back to a hint of warm and all that. When I looked up under the hood, there was all sorts of fluid all around it and down on top of the transmission that sits underneath it. It was like, yep, that's the problem. And the funny thing is, Elena, we was talking about the heat on it, and Elena said, I wonder if it's the thermostat. And then I got that message on the headset. When we got to the store, I lifted the hood, and sure enough, there was fluid all over that thing and underneath it on the transmission. Well, low on fluid was part of the problem. I put about a half a gallon of water in it and did okay. I'm going to make sure it's topped off before we go up there to see my boys about it. But to be low, it would have had to been leaking. I wasn't aware of it. And I just tell you, I'm not good at maintaining vehicles. I was never really taught how. I was never. The last time as a kid that I worked on a car with my dad was, I think it was on an old Nova. No, it was something else. Anyway, he was showing me how to change the points and condenser in the distributor. That's the only working on a car that I ever got with my dad, or with anybody else for that matter. I never had that routine set up and instilled in me. So, I took transportation in school, but I learned some things. And then I got tasked with doing something on a vehicle here that I had no business trying to do, and I tried to make it plain that I didn't know how to do that particular thing. But I got told, you took transportation in school. You know how to do it. You just don't want to. You get out there and do it. So I laid on top of the ground for a couple of 3 hours on top of an inch thick sheet of ice. Yeah, it was winter time. Trying to do it. Well, I'd gotten a pulley puller. It was on a Nova, 74 Nova, 6-cylinder. So some of y'all who know will get it when I say this. I didn't know that pulley puller didn't have automatic stops on it. So yeah, I put 3 holes in the timing chain cover. But the gasket that goes on the underneath of that timing chain cover has little tabs on either side of it to go just up inside where the oil pan is. You got to loosen that up a little bit, get those in there, and then clamp it down. And I didn't know about that either. Wound up getting a shade tree, and when he got done, he told the person that made me get up under there that transportation at school wouldn't have taught me how to do that. So I wouldn't have known anything about that. In other words, that person got chastised by the mechanic that fixed it. Of course, it didn't do no good because that person will believe a lie instead of the truth. Because after it was all said and done, I got chewed out talking about how I cost us a mechanic and a new timing chain cover, and it was implied that I did it on purpose. Yeah, You know, that's the type of raising I got. So, and that's why I hate working on cars. After that incident, if I got seen with a screwdriver in my hand, you could tell they did a pucker factor because they honestly believed I deliberately screw things up. No, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm having to try to figure it out. Nowadays, I got YouTube to reference. The only problem is I don't have the strength in my hands or body to do most of the work, and with the nerve damage, I can't be assured that I'll get screws back in the right way, or won't drop them and then not be able to find them and be in a pickle. So, but that's why I hate working on cars, is because of incidences that happened in my younger years. Now the concepts of how this works or that works, I can look at. I can see the concept and the physics behind what's doing what. But to be able to actually fix it myself, I can't. I was going to see, because of cost, I was going to see about getting the part and see how much it would cost for them to do it, and or get my other little sister's husband, Adrian, to come do it. But they stay so busy, I don't want to bother them. And we both feel a lot better when the boys up there do it for us, because I know they know what the heck they're doing. They're professionals. And they offer great quality. They guarantee their work. And if they provide the part as well as labor, they guarantee the part and their labor. So we do this, if something goes wrong, they'll fix it for free. And I know they will. They've done it for me before. Twice. So we have that peace of mind when we leave from up there that it's done right. And that if something goes wrong, it'll get fixed for free.
They take care of the work, guaranteed.
I guarantee it. And like Clay up there, the one who's in charge of it all now, he was talking about that one day, and he just looked at me. He said, "I like to be able to sleep at night." I pointed my finger out and said, "There you go. That's integrity." So they are a little more expensive than most places, but you get more value and quality for the money than you will at other places, because other places are going to screw you over and then make you pay for it again if it messes up. They don't guarantee their work. Because they have no integrity.
They don't guarantee the work. It might be because they know they do shoddy work.
They do. But they make more money that way, screwing people over.
Mm-hmm.
Half done, half wit up there was one of them. Seen him work on a vehicle once, and there was some wires in the way, something to do with the fuel system and all that. He just grabbed all those wires and yanked them out. I don't need that anyway. I'm sitting there going, Because while I might not know much about cars, I'm figuring those wires were there for a reason. And that person probably had a lot of problems with his vehicle once he got it back. He probably took it somewhere else. And I've talked to my boys up there sometimes. I've told them, that Josie.
Hey, Jesse.
And I told my play up there. I said, yeah, I've got a relation that's mechanic around here. And used to be everything. And I told him about that wire situation and other stuff. And he just kind of smiled at me and
Can you hand me a strap over?
said, yeah, I've seen a lot of those. She ran on that, Mama.
Trying to attack my legs.
Basically, it was his way of saying, yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Because in any profession, word's going to get around about who does what and how they do it. So when I told him about that, he just smiled. He knew exactly who my relation was then, because he's probably heard it from customers that come to him to fix whatever it was he screwed up. So, of course, he's an old time mechanic. He's not really used to all these electronics. He studies up on them and fixes most of them. No, Josie, we got it for about a day. Got an inch and a half. While that may not seem like much to y'all up there, down here it's a wet snow. So when it's driven across, it turns to ice because it gets crunched down and made watery, and the temperatures make it freeze it and make it ice. That makes it dangerous. Anyway, that's why I like going to the boys up there. They're pros, and that's why I hate working on cars, is because situations in the past and everything. And sometimes there's a lot of things I wind up not finishing because I was always taught, well, if you can't get it right the first time, you shouldn't do it at all. Okay, so I'm supposed to be perfect. And for a lot of years, I was a perfectionist. And I learned that being a perfectionist, you're going to screw it up every time. Because you're trying to be so perfect with it, you screw it up. So, anywho, I got to make sure I'm up in the morning. We've been night owls. We mostly are active at night. We get up late in the afternoon, almost evening, and stay up till morning. Early hours of the morning, like 4, 5, 10 o'clock. So I might try to maybe get to bed earlier tonight, make myself sleep so that I can get up in the morning, make a call, make arrangements. And take some extra water with us on our way up there, top it off before we go, and then take some extra water with us in case we wind up needing it by the time we get up there. And I ain't going to crank it up until we are ready to leave.
I just say.
So, we've got that adventure ahead of us. Next week, I'll let y'all know how it went. So anywho, there's that. So on her lives on Saturday nights, I'm usually set back like this with this in my hand, playing the game, looking over at the chat and playing my game, look over at the chat, play my game.
That's what I do on his.
Yeah. I ain't got the computer set up to where it's pointed in her direction. She's sitting in her little recliner, blanket over in a little desktop type thing across her lap.
The laptop.
Thermostat's gone bad, it's leaking. It's one of those little rectangular ones that go on the side of the engine on the driver's side. And I was told that those models are bad on thermostats. So the needle never went up, but I got a display, heads up display on the dash, on the console there. And it popped up giving me a message that said something about the heat or it said AC is off due to high engine temp or something like that. So we got to the store and I popped the hood. Sure enough, there's all sorts of fluid all over that thermostat and on the transmission down below it. So I had her get me some water while she was in the store. Put about a half a gallon in it and did okay. Got us home fine. But again, like I said, when we go to take it up there, I'll make sure it's topped off and not crank the thing until we're ready to leave. I'll get out there and pop the hood and put some in it and have her crank it up, see how it sucks it down and all that. There's a process that when my other little sister's husband put it on there that didn't get done, that my boys up there told me has to be done. That's something about pressurizing the system. And Adrian had watched YouTube on it. She said, oh, it don't need that. It don't have to have that. And I'm thinking maybe it did need that. But it did last 2 years. And then with it sitting most of the time in all this extreme cold for south, it probably made that rubber seal contract plenty enough for it to start leaking. I'm thinking that may have been what happened to it. If not for that, it might have kept on going. Yes, on my theory of what happened. I know you know a lot about vehicles. You heard that wheel bearing on that video that time. I took that into consideration, but I never heard it. Of course, my hearing's bad anyway. But we had to take it up there for something. And I told them about that. And they looked at it, and sure enough, that wheel bearing was bad. Like, dang, Joe C knows some things. So Anyway. Yeah, I gathered that, Josie, and obviously you're pretty dang good. Makes me kind of wish you lived near us down here somewhere. I said, hey, go! Help! Like I said earlier, uh, Lee and I was discussing it, and I was thinking about getting the park and getting Adrian to put it in there, and I thought, uh, no, we'll go ahead and bite the bullet and pay the expensive cost and have our boys up there do it because we know when they do it, big sis!
Hey, Miss Joy. I am feeling better. Don't know if it was something I ate yesterday or day before, but it hit me.
Well, big sis, we kind of know your situation, so we won't ask. We'll suffice to say you're doing the best you can under the circumstances. Yeah, it's cold. It's showing 29 outside right now. Those 12 to 16 degree temps. Ooh.
That's a lot of times, Miss Joy, why I don't ask. I just tell you to give Mr. Scott a hug for us.
Yep. So anyway, that's what we got facing us. See if we can't get up there, get that fixed, and be on our way for a while. We've got the bill paid off, so that's going to help us be able to pay for that. It'll still be a skimp by a month, but you know, that's just how it is. We deal with it. And we'll get it done. And maybe for a few months we can take the money from that bill that got paid off and I hear you. I'd much prefer it to be hot. When it's hot, I can sit here dang near naked and not worry about it. Yeah, I know, Tina. That's not much to y'all. You're up to 39. I'm jealous. That'd be like a heat wave here by comparison. Of course, when I first got up, it was up to 31, but
A whole 31. We're doing good.
it's dropped to and it's sitting at 29 now. I looked at weather forecast yesterday and it was saying about the next week and a half. It's supposed to be getting halfway decent temps during the day, but at night it's going to be really, really cold. Yeah, almost all the snow's gone here too. A few little patches here and there. And it's off the roads, although I did see a couple of small ice patches on the road looking out the window. I used to have fun in it. There'd be ice patches on the road, black ice and all that. 16 to 18 years old, running down the road in a Nova. all these curvy, windy roads. And I'd hit those patches and car would slide a little bit, and I'd just keep on going. I can drive it. I can drive in it. I can deal with it. I don't like to. Had a ice storm about 15 years ago or so. Wasn't that bad on the back roads, but on the main roads and big roads, nothing but a sheet of ice. I got nothing. But there's always something to complain about. We didn't have that. I guess we just complained about other things. That I'm not getting into at the moment. I normally do get into it. But most of it, the only thing I'm doing is speaking to the choir. Those who really need to hear it ain't going to listen to it because they want to believe it's the other way around. Believing the lies instead of recognizing the truth. So it don't do no good to, of course, I probably still will talk about it, but it don't do no good because I'm speaking to the choir when I talk about it. Everything. Those who believe the lies ain't going to listen to it. They're not even going to consider it. They're not going to look at it. They're not going to logically look at it. They're not going to research it and see both sides of the fence so they can come to the middle and see the truth. Let's see. Oh. We had stopped. Tires were low on air. All right, well, crap, we went to get that little compressor out and try to air on the. And thought, well, we'll just stop by the store on the gas station on the way to where we was going and just fill it up there. I did get all four of them filled up. Of course, one of them didn't seem to want to take air, so I think either the thing had quit on me. You know, it was still running when I got done. Anyway, thing is, it cost us $3 at that gas station pump, air pump, to fill up the tires. $3.
I remember when it was free.
Yeah. Well, I thought, well, I guess I have to get that compressor. And I started talking about these small portable ones that I've seen over the last several months. Actually, once in a while, last couple of years. I was telling her we need to get us one. So, since that's backwards, it says bullseye. So she ordered me this little pump. Still got some tape stuff on it. Okay, that's the little nozzle. That's where it goes on the tire, and that's where it screws into the unit. It's got two USB-Cs on it right there. One's in, one's out. Because it can also be versatile and be a charger. And you just screw that little nozzle into it right there. Looks like an old-timey walkie-talkie, don't it? It's got its little controls right here. And then in that back compartment, it's got 3 nozzles and a fuse.
Hi, Miss Rita.
Miss Rita. So I hadn't tried it out yet. When it gets warmer, I'm going to try it out on one of the time. Well, all of them, because they all need topping off. Anyway, she got me this little thing. It's charged up. It's sitting at 95%. But if it works like I hope it does, it's a lot easier than doing my little pancake compressor. And a lot cheaper in the long run than paying $3 a pop to fill them up at the gas station air pump. Turn it back off. And it comes with a cord to plug it up inside the car.
Yeah, Miss Joy, I miss Texaco guys too. That fill up your tank and check your oil and your air pressure and wash your windows, and they do all that good stuff for you.
Yeah, once upon a time, $5 to fill your tank.
Well,
Now,
everybody's Marlboro Reds.
now it might go from the empty line to the line just below it.
Get a gallon and a half.
You know, well, not quite that. Yeah, she showed me something the other day. And we thought, man, that has got to be a spoof. And then I saw Chad Tracer pop up on my stuff and talking about that very thing that she had showed me. There was this woman at the gas pumps complaining about used to get 80, 90 bucks worth of gas in her tank under the previous administration. But now under the Trump administration, she's only able to get about $56 worth of gas in her tank. She thinks she's being cheated. She thinks she's not getting as much. I told Lane, I said, that has got to be a spoof. Surely nobody's that stupid. Apparently they are, because Chad Tracer was talking about it. That is how bad it is out there, people.
I look to see how many gallons I get and then compare the prices.
Right. Well, any logical, rational thinking person would. I'd hate to see how that woman shops. No wonder some of them people are complaining about stuff, because you think you're getting cheated when you filling your tank up for less. There's something wrong up here. I'm just saying. So, anywho, I mean, that's just sad, people. It really is. It's just sad. Trying to put this thing up now. Now that I've shown it to y'all. This right here would be a lot easier to carry out there and mess with than that little pancake compressor I got that's hard for me to deal with. Last couple of times I used it, I was starting to get the hang of it. Because admittedly, problem, part of the problem with that little pancake is not the weapon. It's not the dope on the weapon. It's the dope behind the weapon, so to speak. Big sis, I'm sure you've heard that before.
Operator error.
So, well, that's the thing that DIs and boot camp tell you.
Yeah.
A lot of times it ain't the dope on the weapon that's making you miss. It's the dope behind the weapon. That's why I said I'm sure Miss Joy has probably heard that before. Since she does live with a Marine. One. Yeah. If you could ever find it like that again. And for that price, I'm not sure that it would be any good. 30! As well as can be, Purdy. We all doing the best we can under the circumstances. One of those things that I could complain, but it wouldn't do any good. Type of things.
I can always complain. Why be miserable all the time?
Right. Why be a wowsy woo woo and depress everybody else around me? It is what it is. I got to deal with it anyhow. So, like I always say, I'm going to have a great day even on my worst day because I got to live through it anyway. So, I might as well smile about it. It just is what it is. It's life. Some may have it a little better. Some may have it a lot better. Well, that's their life.
Some may have it worse.
Some may have it worse. That's a fact.
That's why I don't like complaining so much because I know there's people out there worse off than I am.
As bad as it is for me with what I've got to deal with, I know there's others that's got it worse than I do. Even as bad as it is for me, I know there's others that's got it a lot worse than I do. There's some people out there got to deal with this cold without a house, without a place to live. They got it a lot worse than I do. So I can be thankful that I've got a halfway decent place to be in, stay warm, clothes to keep me warm. I got running water and electricity and a few things. I don't have as much as most people, but I got more than those people on the streets. So I can be thankful and count my blessings. I'm still alive and here to be able to be on here and talk to folks. That's a blessing. I could be dead. I have been 3 times. Of course, on the flip side, if I was, I'd be at home with God and not be worried about none of it. But apparently, it's not my time yet because God's brought me through each one of those events. Basically letting me know my purpose has not been fulfilled yet. But once my purpose has been fulfilled, see ya. I'll be exploring heaven, seeing all the wonders, fulfilling whatever purpose it is God has for me there. Like I said before, it ain't going to be laid across a cloud strumming a harp for eternity. He's got some kind of purpose for us already mapped out. I'm anxious to find out what it is. Yes, ma'am, he certainly is. And like I've said before, you know, I know things could be a lot worse. And I know what awaits. So whatever I got to go through down here is worth it to get there. So that's always a good thing. To know what you're looking forward to. Of course, a weak-minded person will likely never see that until it's time for them to be there. Because I can tell you, that first time God brought me out of death, I cried like a baby because of what I'd seen and felt. It wasn't just what I saw. It was, you could feel the love of God all through. It's like it was intertwined with every fiber of your being. It's like you'd been made whole. You know, the love, peace, and joy of God that is spoken of. I can tell you, it's all that in a case of chips. Because there's nothing like it. It's, you know, like the Bible said, it's uh, unspeakable. And the reason it's unspeakable is because we don't have an advanced mind enough to be able to comprehend imagining such a thing, much less forming words for it. That's why it's unspeakable. You can't describe it. You not and do any justice to the meaning of it. It is just all that. Well, I've lost 3 or 4. That's all right. But that's how it is. It's just that wonderful. So, but he's not done with me yet. So I got to keep going. Well, people starting to drop off. I've been on here for a while. Don't know who number 4 just popped in there is, but that's all right too. And I imagine that Elaine may be getting a little hungry by now.
Not really.
Not really? Okay. I'm starting to get a hint.
Yeah, we didn't do anything yet this morning or this afternoon.
I've had some coffee. We got up around 3:20, 3:30 today. We normally don't get up about 4, 5, 6, depending on how late we go to bed.
We did a little bit earlier so that we get up early.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to go to bed much earlier tonight so that I can get up much earlier tomorrow so I can call the boys and set up going up there. And everything. Showed y'all my new little tire pump. Told you about the thermostat and snow. Stupid people that are out there. Had one woman complaining about paying less for filling up her tank, thinking she's being cheated because she used to get $80 to $90 worth of gas under the previous administration. Now it don't take but 50, almost 60 to fill up her tank, and she thinks she's getting cheated.
Well, she is.
Yeah, up here. But anyway, I think I'm done. Well, hello again, Josie. Somebody else dropped off again. I'm back to 3. That's all right, because I'm done for the night. Y'all think about it. Piggy loves you.